All right. Jesse on fire. It's Friday, and I love live streaming on Friday. So that is exactly what I'm doing right now. And I watched the UFC 314 presser, and in one of the most fascinating exchanges ever, two of the fighters who are not fighting each other started screaming at each other in Spanish, and I got the translation on that, so we're going to talk about that. Bryce Mitchell had one of the coldest lines in the history of ever. What's up, dude? What's up, Malcolm? How are you, sir? What's up, what's up, everybody? I'm saying those guys have real beef, dude. Like real beef. That goes back years, apparently. So yeah, but we'll talk about the card too, because I personally think Diego Lopes has a very uphill battle to try to win his fight this weekend, and Yair versus Pitbull is fascinating. I mean, it's a great card tomorrow night, man. This main card is stacked to the gills. Yeah, no, he was Yair was talking specifically about an incident that happened in I think 29 I think it sounds like it was 2019. But so yeah, bro, Bryce. So wait, MMA Joey said Bryce's said Bryce's parents should have put Bryce down. Okay, well, I mean that's one way to look at it. You know, it's like, hey, Bryce Mitchell has some ideas I don't think are very good, and he says some things I disagree with. You're all, well, he's also one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners that you'll ever see ever. So like, he's better at jiu-jitsu than you are at anything, or anything you will ever do. There's nothing you will ever do where you will be as good at it as Bryce Mitchell is at jiu-jitsu, fighting, or other things. So maybe he has more claim to a right to live than you, if you think about it that way. It's like, what's the purpose of life? Is it to achieve greatness? Or should we just, if people we disagree with, say that we just put them down? It is funny to see, like, MMA Joey pick up the just like fucking hammer every single UFC fighter. It's like it's funny, man. I actually saw Luke. I didn't realize Luke Thomas had done his show, and I was watching that, and Luke Thomas actually made a really good point about like how you basically have two sides of the MMA media, right? One of them is the people who like go to the shows, they report on the events, they report on the fighters, but they get, like they're like they're live interacting with the organization, whatever. And then you have the other side. And he was saying that if you are a press pass person that goes to the shows, you're almost obligated not to say anything too negative about the organization or anything too negative about the fighters, so on and so forth. And he's like, so that just leaves this lane where anybody online who, will call out fighters and call out the organization, they just immediately get a bunch of credibility. And I'm like, I mean, that is partially true. But then what you get is like these channels, the only thing they do, literally the only thing they do, is just talk shit about fighters or like people who are bigger in the industry. And I'm like, that shit is just fucking lazy, dude. It's lazy. It's so fucking lazy. It's boring too. It's like if I go to a channel I've never seen and all they do is just go, this guy's an ass. This dude's a clown. This dude's a clown. This dude's a clown. This dude's a clown. I'm like, bro, in every case, every single case of people who do that, you're like, are you sure that you want somebody fucking playing this game with you, bud? You know what I mean? Like, are you sure? How do you think you would fucking fare under that scrutiny, dude? Probably not very well, Anyway, so yeah, Bryce killed it yesterday. Bryce Killed it. But literally the comment about the dog, you know, the sound dogs make before they get put down was the most gangster ass line ever. I'm going to put that on right now, actually. Let me pull that up myself, and then I will share it with you guys because I think it might be my favorite. It might be my favorite line in the history of fucking UFC. Certainly since Conor McGregor. Like, Conor McGregor had some absolutely cold ass lines. I can't think of a line that I thought was more gangster than this one I'm about to show you from Bryce Mitchell yesterday. Just ice cold, dude. Hang on. I think I spawned it. There we go. Yep, I did. All right, here we go. Check this out. In case you guys missed this. Okay, this was amazing. Okay. The most ice cold response ever.
3.
I put a lot of dogs down in my day.
Ele disse que matou
All those
muito
dogs
cachorro.
that like to come up to the farm, they kill my animals. They come to harm me and my family, and they come barking. You know what they all got in common? They squeal right before they die.
That is the coldest fucking line ever right there, dude. I saw that. I was in the car on the way to jiu-jitsu yesterday, and I watched that literally in the car, and I was like, oh my God, that is so fucking cold right there. They all squeal before they die. Now, a million people could say that line and it wouldn't be that good. You know what I mean? It's like, it wouldn't be like that good. It's just, the way he said it was fucking cold, son. Dude, Zachary Larson gifting those memberships. Thank you very much, good sir. And anybody who's a new member, welcome to the team. You know what's unfortunate though about this matchup right here is the fact that, you know, honestly, Gene Silva is one of my favorite new dudes. Like, I think he's gonna be a star, like just a star. But I can't root against Bryce. Kidding me? I love that fucking dude. I have to root for Bryce. I have to. But you know, Gene Silva is a monster. I don't know how anybody who is a fan of mixed martial arts would not be a fan of that guy if they've watched him fight. You know, it's going to be awesome. He does not want Bryce to touch. Like, if Bryce gets a hold of him, he's in really big trouble, just like everybody else. And yes, whoever was asking about the twister, that's correct. I think Bryce was the first one to do a twister. I think he finished 2 guys with twisters. He almost finished that other guy with a twister, and we talked about it when he came on the show about how that basically what he was saying was that, like, you know, honestly, you know, I've been watching the twister recently, and it's not actually that complicated. It's really not that complicated. It's you know, you essentially abandon one of your hooks, you triangle the other leg and trap him on the one side, and then you just kind of I can't remember exactly what the hold is, but I was just watching and I'm like, that's really not like that complicated. I mean, you know, you would have to, like any other submission, you have to like practice it over and over and over to be able to actually have it in your arsenal. But what Bryce was saying is, like, the only reason I would ever do a twister on a guy is if they're really, really excellent at back defense. He's like, if they're not good at defending from the, you know, when I'm on their back, then I'll just choke them. There's no reason to ever do the twister. And a dude actually tried to do a twister on me when they were, so ADCC trials were in Austin. I can't remember whenever that was. And we had a couple guys that were training at our gym for the trials. And I was rolling with this dude, and he was really good. He took my back, but I'm really good at back defense. And no, not in a small part, because I could just go like this and I have no fucking neck. But he was trying to set up a twister. I didn't even realize it until afterwards. Those guys were like, "Oh, he was trying to do a twister on you," and I was like, "Huh." And then I didn't even remember that until Bryce explained the twister, and then I went back and looked at, you know, I kind of like really looked at the twister. I was like, "Oh shit, okay, that all makes sense now." But anyway, so hopefully Bryce wins. Okay, let me pull up the card though. Because we can go through each of these, dude. What's up, Anthony? How are you, sir? The American MMA guru. That's funny, dude. All right, so because I'm wearing the beanie. All right, so Vulkanovski and Diego Lopes. Like, look, anytime that I'll do a fight breakdown, I'll just be honest about how I'm doing it and what my considerations are. And with Vulkanovski, it's like any fighter who is, in a situation like his, which is over 35, okay, over 35 years old, and has lost recently, like a couple times. If they've lost more than once in a row, they're over 35 years old, then there are considerations that you do not normally have to factor into a breakdown, because obviously diminishing returns on their abilities become this massive thing, and there's no real way to know like where they're going to be on that. You know what I mean? But if you look at Vulkanovski at, let's say the fight right before the Makhachev fight, and honestly, even the Ilya fight before he got caught, he should beat the shit out of Diego Lopes. Bottom line. If a good version of Vulkanovski comes in, Diego's in really big trouble. Like fucking really big trouble. Like it's a horrendous matchup for Diego Lopes, if we're being totally honest. If it was Diego Lopes against Vulkanovski and he had not just gotten knocked out, like starch knocked out twice, and again, so that you don't really know how fast he's going to be, so on and so forth, I would say this would be a like really huge shock if Diego Lopes, was able to win. Volkanovski's faster, crisper, everything about his striking. He should be able to just touch Diego whenever he wants. I don't see how Diego's going to be able to, deal with that. And if Volkanovski is able to fight off Islam Makhachev's grappling, then you don't need to worry about anybody's grappling. So that's just what it is on that fight. But again, you just don't know what's coming in there. Chandler against Paddy. So that is a very interesting fight because Chandler has not fought in so long. The guy stays in incredible shape, obviously. But Paddy Pimblett, I don't think people have been giving him enough credit in terms of like how much better he's looked, because in his last two fights, he fought Bobby Green and Tony Ferguson, who are both guys who are like, all right, they're older, it's not like he beat, a world beater in either of those guys. But if you actually if you're able to, just be able to like look at how a guy looks regardless of the opponent that they're facing, it is wildly evident that Paddy Pimblett has improved astronomically. Like he looks so much better on the feet now in his last two fights than he did previously. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got a new coach. I don't know if he like started some different kind of like training mode or whatever, but he went from one of those guys who had like an aggressive kind of like unpredictable, but kind of telegraphed his shots, but he had good reach. So it kind of worked for him, but he just used his striking to set up his ability to grapple. And he was loose. There was a million like opportunities for his opponent to touch him, to tight, compact, and which this part almost never happens. A guy who actually goes from someone who doesn't really look like they're a big power puncher or has the ability to like generate really fast, quick twitch movement. And now he has that. It's like, dude, the guy is powerful. He's got great technique. He snaps them without, he snaps his leg kick, snaps his kicks without telegraphing them. He's got great straight punches. His straight punches have a lot of power. He got Bobby Green to fucking shoot on him. You're going to shoot on Paddy Pimblett? Are you out of your fucking mind? That guy is a submission machine. He has the perfect body type for it. That's the thing, is if Paddy Pimblett actually ends up being as good as I think he is an anomaly, because he has that Gumby-like body that's super loose and flexible, so he can do all this crazy shit in jiu-jitsu. He is completely 100% confident in his ability to grapple and beat people in grappling positions and then submit them. Like, he is moving to submit all of the time. Like, there are a lot of great grapplers, like really, really great grapplers, whose goal is not to submit necessarily, or at the very least, they might end up with a submission, but they're using their grappling to get guys into positions that they can strike or to control them or whatever, but it's not like they're a constant submission threat. That's not Paddy, dude. Paddy he is hunting for submission all the time, and he knows exactly where he's going. He's thinking multiple steps ahead, and he's good enough to do that. Exactly like Charles Oliveira. But his body type with that like super loose, Gumby-like ability to kind of stretch his body and know what he's doing it's very rare for guys who can do that to be able to also tighten up and then have really good Muay Thai, like that kind of tight, explosive Muay Thai. And that's what he's done now. So he's good, dude. Like, he's really good. But he's fighting Michael Chandler, who, listen, like, the thing that Paddy had always had problems with prior was he would get hit. Okay, you can't get fucking hit hard by, like, if Michael Chandler hits you hard, you're in really serious trouble, like really serious trouble. So the most like kind of low level breakdown that I can see is Paddy really likes now in his last two fights, he likes to come out and he likes to establish the striking with low kicks. And if I'm Michael Chandler and I have Michael Chandler's striking style, I'm going to be sitting on those low kicks to throw overhand rights immediately. Like, and because his overhand right is super fast, super explosive, super powerful. And then even if he doesn't land heavy, if he's able to land enough or make it enough of a threat to where Paddy can't throw those leg kicks, then it'll be different because Paddy was able to establish a striking game and dominate the distance game against Tony Ferguson. Against Bobby Green, honestly, he started having so much success immediately that like it didn't even matter, which is crazy against Bobby Green, dude. Because Bobby Green's striking on paper, he should have been able to easily dominate Paddy Pimblett on the feet, but he was not able to do that at all. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's a hard fight to call because Chandler is the fight's on Saturday night. Chandler is a huge step up in competition, huge, and I love both these guys. Now, I'm like, I like Chandler's like my boy. Like I texted him good luck, like yesterday. He's like I love that fucking guy. So obviously I'm rooting for Chandler, but I can't root against Paddy. I'm rooting for Paddy Pimblett in his career for sure. It's just one of those things. Like every once in a while, you have got two guys matched up where you're like, damn it, But if I'm actually buddies with a guy, obviously I'm going to be rooting for them. But it just is what it is. Like I want Chandler to win, but Paddy Pimblett, I'm very bullish on his career, dude. I'm super bullish on his career. And here's another thing. There have never been any boring fights between those two fucking guys, Well, the only boring fight that Paddy Pimblett had was the one where he got the decision and then they, everybody thought that, oh my God, what the fuck is his name? God damn it. Hold on. This is going to piss me off. And then I'll be like talking about something else and still just searching for this in the back of my mind. So I just need to look it up. The Jared Gordon fight, where everybody thought that Paddy had lost and they gave it to Jared Gordon. That fight, especially like in the third round, was like boring, like that got boring, but that's the only one. That is literally the only boring fight that he ever had. And since then, again, it's like, that's another thing that, in my opinion, is very notable is when a guy starts taking a lot of heat online about anything. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? Like, it doesn't really matter what it is, but especially about, like, if you're a big enough star that where you get a lot of attention, when the entire community starts hating on you for something, the way that they respond to that is very indicative of their like champion mindset. Like, is this guy a fucking champion? God, I love talking about combat sports, dude. I miss this shit. I really got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to move this all to a new channel or just like, I mean, you guys can see the numbers, dude. Look at, like, right now, right this second, I had to make a decision on whether to do a live stream about UFC 314 or about this new story that just dropped about fucking Kanye West getting sued by Taylor Swift because of blah, blah, blah. Like, I would have 3 times as many viewers if I was doing that Kanye and Taylor, but I want to talk about fucking UFC. You know what I mean? Sometimes I gotta prioritize the channel. Other times it's just like, I don't give a fuck. I want to talk about the pay-per-view, you know? But anyway, but yeah, like if you look at like Ian Gary, and when he started just eating shit constantly, just eating shit, eating shit, eating shit, eating shit, eating shit, eating shit, he responded very well in the cage. And in his case, it seems like it just doesn't affect him. Like that's my read on Ian Gary is the stuff on the outside too. It just doesn't affect him. You know what I mean? It's like he's he's just going to train the same. He's going to fight the same. And it is what it is. Paddy, it's different. You know, Paddy, it's different. Paddy took all that shit. And I mean, like people hammered him, dude. Like when you're a big star like that and you got a lot of hype, the world is looking for a reason to turn on you. You know, it's just human nature. Now they're also looking for a reason to get back on your train. You know, depending on what the circumstances are. And like Paddy had the entire world hammering him, saying that he lost the decision. I never understand why people get mad at the fighter who is given the decision. It's like, do you get mad at a fighter who fought really hard and then lost a decision? Like he doesn't make the fucking choice of who won. The judges do, you know? But where Paddy started eating shit was he came out and was like, you know, he was like very vocally defensive of the fact that he won and that he had decisively won. And people were just like, you know, people were like, oh God, shut up, Paddy. You fucking lost. Just own it, Paddy. You lost. Who's going to fucking say that they lost? But nonetheless, so he's eating all that shit. And the way he responded clearly was that shit pissed him off. And he wanted to show everybody, you know, that like he's going to come back from that and he's going to win decisively. And his game, I'm telling you, I have the UFC media's contact. I wonder if, because like the reason why we can't ever use UFC like fight footage is because YouTube will automatically catch it just with their algorithm filters and then block the content. It's not, you're not talking about like a copyright, you know, like where they claim it. They just block it. You literally cannot have the video up on YouTube. They'll just block it. It's really, it's actually, it must be a service that YouTube offers to like big corporations that they have to pay for or whatever. Because like, I mean, if I show too much of a fighter's entrance, it blocks the video. Like it blocks it. I try to, it's like, this is blocked in some countries and you just can't show it. But I have actually interacted with UFC's media when they used my clip for the Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis breakdown. And so I wonder if I just asked them like, dude, can I use some of your guys' footage? If they would say yes. I've never asked, you know, because it blocking it is automatic. But I wonder if I asked them if I could. Because anyway, the point why I'm saying that is I would love to pull up the two performances, the Jared Gordon one and then his fight against Tony Ferguson, and just look at the difference. He is so much better. Like he's so much better. And he looked even better in the Bobby Green one. You know? That's exactly it, dude. That's exactly it. Jesse, did I perhaps influence this? You did, dude. Actually. You did. You did. Diego and Yair in power slap Jesse and MMA Guru as the catchers. Dude, I think MMA Guru would make both of them look like fucking little Care Bears in size. He's like a heavyweight catcher, you know. I agree with this 100%. This is the best card we've had in a long time. And I'll talk more about what I'm going to do with MMA in the channel here shortly, because I'm curious what you guys think I should do. Not what I should do, but I'll just lay out the situation, then you guys can kind of weigh in and give me advice. I need fucking advice. Okay, so Yair versus Pitbull is like, just from a if I take personalities out of it, you know, people that I'm tied to in one way or the other, but from just like, we're going to put two guys into a cage and let them fight, which are you most excited for? for sure, it's Yair versus Patricio Pitbull. Like, that is a fascinating matchup right there. Because anytime that, super chat. What's up, Anthony? Thank you very much. Good sir. Predictions. Diego beats Volk. Pimblett upsets Chandler. Silva destroys Bryce. John Bones Jobs walks through Aspinall worse than when Anderson smoked Forrest. Oof. I could see any of those. I mean, your 3 predictions for tomorrow night, I could see happening. I have a hard time with that last one though, dude. No one's going to walk through Aspinall. John could win. Like, John could for sure win. John could beat anybody, but I mean, there's just, when you're breaking down a fight, I mean, obviously the way to do it is just look at all of their, like the way that I do it, at least, and I think other people who are generally consider themselves pretty good at breaking down fights, it comes down to a few factors. I'll do it with you here. Okay. So you start with how have they performed in their, I don't know, most recent, like, call it 6 fights. Okay. What were the outcomes? Who were they fighting? Okay. What were the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents? And then how did they match up against the strengths and weaknesses of the fighter that you're handicapping? And then you do the exact same thing with the opponent that they're fighting to break all that down. It's like, when Conor McGregor fought Cowboy Cerrone, he was coming off of the Khabib loss. That's one of the only times I've actually bet on a guy to win by stoppage in the first round. And I bet that and then won, obviously. And it was just because it was like, I mean, that one was relatively straightforward. Okay. Conor, most dangerous on his feet and absolutely terrifying and formidable in the first round. He starts going down from there. So, like, when you look at like a Dustin Poirier, the reason he's such a horrific matchup for Conor is because Dustin Poirier is the exact opposite of Cowboy, where Cowboy comes out weak in the first round. He always comes out weak. And he has been knocked out early before. And, it's almost like you have to like turn his brain on to get him to start fighting. And with Conor, he's just going to overwhelm guys early on. And I'm like, dude, Conor's just going to walk through him fast, which is exactly what happened. The reason I would never bet that in a Dustin Poirier, and also, Cowboy's not going to take it to the ground. So you're going to be standing exactly how Conor wants it, whatever. Now, Poirier, you got the same thing, except for the fact that Dustin is a fucking piece of iron. And even though Conor had stopped him in the first round in his previous fight against him, that was at 145 pounds. Conor's power doesn't translate as well to 155 pounds. Dustin Poirier at 55 has been much harder to finish. The only time he got finished in 55 early was by Michael Johnson. He got hit absolutely flush on the chin. And so it's like, and Dustin gets stronger as the fight goes along and Conor gets weaker. So, like, it's a completely different matchup. So when you look at Tom Aspinall, it's like, okay, so first round stoppage, second round stoppage, first round stoppage, second round stoppage, first round stoppage. Okay. Like, all of these are Tom running guys over, right? So, and he's doing it in a multitude of ways, right? So, like, he's got these knockouts, but you've seen enough from him on the ground where when he jumps on guys on the ground, you can clearly see that his grappling is fucking top notch. You can objectively look at him and see that he's fast as lightning. That guy is so fast. He's so fast for how big he is. It's bananas. But the reason that I can't just confidently, Brian O'Connor, thank you very much, dude. Love the Vigs. Big love from team. Appreciate you very much, dude. Team Blessed. You talking from Team Blessed? Are you talking like Hawaii? Holloway? Because thank you. Oh my God. That just reminded me. I need to do a follow-up video on the BJ Penn story. Holy shit. Did you guys see the new video that BJ put up? Have you guys seen this? Dude, it's bad. Like, it's like, I'm going to come right back to UFC 314. I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm going to do a video about that actually right now afterwards. It's bad, dude. It's like really, really bad. Super fucking scary. Like no exaggeration, no clickbait, none of that. Like it is really scary. He put up a video now because the one that he did is that dude. This is exactly right. Sorry, I'm fucking ADD, man. But this is exactly right. There's just like there hasn't been but there's because I haven't been covering it very much, there's a lot for me to talk about now. But anyway, it's not here. But the BJ Penn story is really, really scary, man. He did the video. It's not that though. No, it's not. It's not at all. I can tell you that 100% without getting into like sources who I've talked to. I'm telling you, I've talked to people very close, like very close, that they don't want me to quote them or whatever. But after I did my last video about BJ, they reached out to me and I've talked to them and like this, it's not an act. Like it's 100% on my children, not an act. Like this is very real what he's doing. And yeah, he put the video out, and the original one that he did about his mom was, he's like, someone's impersonating my mom. Anyway, he put out a new one about other people in his family. And again, he said the thing where he's like, he's talking openly about hurting or killing these clones. And he wants to go find he believes that his family are clones, and that like that like his, his mom and his brothers or whatever. And now there's more people that he posted about yesterday are not the real persons. He thinks that they're impersonators and his real family is locked away somewhere. Okay. Like he really believes this. And so he's talking about killing the impersonators. It's a really fucking serious situation, like a really dangerous, very serious situation. And anyway, we'll talk more about it. Like I said in the last one, dude, Benoit killed his family, dude. BJ is literally openly talking about killing these people that he thinks are impersonators. It's fucking scary, man. Anyway, I'll do a whole video about that right after this. You would think someone would help BJ. Sad day. How though, dude? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sorry. So with Tom Aspinall though, okay? With Tom Aspinall, he's like, he has great ground game. Obviously, his striking is super dangerous. But the thing is, like, when you look at this, you don't see any fights that go past how far? 1 minute in the second round, 3 minutes in the second round, which, he ended up getting DQ'd on, but whatever. He got heel hooked. A guy getting heel hooked 10 years ago literally means nothing. Like, actually nothing, Like a professional fighter, the thing about leg locks is you can be an elite jiu-jitsu practitioner, and if you have not practiced, or if you've not trained leg lock systems specifically, then you are incredibly vulnerable to people who are experts at attacking legs. It's much more rare in mixed martial arts because in many cases, if you get into a ashigarami or a leg entanglement to try to start setting up leg attacks, you need both your arms, which means you have to have the guy in a position where they can't punch you, and what happens obviously, but the reason why you don't see a lot of heel hooks and stuff in MMA is because, if you try to attack it from the bottom, they just come down and punch him in the face and, you can get knocked out. But anyway, 10 years later, if he got finished by a heel hook and then he never got finished by a heel hook ever again, I'm sure that he made it a point to train, leg lock submission defense or, submissions in general. Like Marigali, for like actual like jits people, Marigali, when he was a like multi-time world champion in gi, one of the best gi practitioners in the world, he went over to New Wave with Danaher and Gordon Ryan and all them because he wanted to get into no-gi. And they said that their blue belts were submitting him initially with leg locks because he just didn't have any leg lock game. Even though, he's like, again, like one of the best gi grapplers in the world. And he was getting submitted by their blue belts. And then, now he is one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world with no vulnerabilities on the legs. And he did, so Tom Aspinall has 10 fucking years to plug that hole. So that means nothing. But what you don't see, okay, in any of his fights is what's it look like if it goes later into the fight, right? And I will tell you right now, that's Jon Jones's plan for sure. His plan is going to be get him out of the early rounds because he's not used to being there. Jon Jones is a seasoned professional. He's the most seasoned, most cerebral fighter probably in the history of the sport. He's going to take him into the later rounds if he can survive. But if you think about it like this, dude, Jon Jones, his purpose within those first 2 rounds is survival, okay? Is to just, put enough damage on Tom to not give away rounds, but just to make sure that he survives, okay? If your goal is survival, not to do anything crazy, you're not trying to finish the fight, you're not trying to take any chances that could lead to you getting, finished, a guy is going to have a much harder time finishing you. And so you basically have Tom Aspinall, who's one of the most successful, if not the most successful heavyweight finisher that we've seen like almost ever, except maybe Francis, against Jon Jones. So like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. If Tom Aspinall walks through Jon Jones, he's never going to lose. He's never going to lose, man. Anthony, thank you again, dude. Has anybody spoken to his family about CTE? I don't know. I don't think so. The word that I have, or like the conversations I've had are that it's like very challenging. It's just a very challenging situation because of BJ's position, like in his family and in the community. He's like the god of that area. It's just a weird situation. Like no one talks to him like that. No one confronts him. And also, what are you going to do? Like his family, he thinks that they're not his family. So like, what are they going to, if you talk to his family tells him he has CTE. He thinks they're imposters. He doesn't think it's his family. So, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that or I mean, like that, I don't know. But anyway, so, yeah, the record is insane, dude. It really is so crazy. Like just first round knockout, 1 minute knockout. Okay. This was an injury. First round knockout against Volkov. Just like imagine, sometimes it's crazy to think about this, that like, it's easy to get caught up in a world where you just look at it as a sport that's on TV, or a sporting event that you're at. And it's like, you forget that there are actually 2 people in there who are like actually fighting. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like a weird, I'm communicating something weird, but it makes sense to me that like, he's getting into a cage with Volkov, right? And it's like, oh, and he finished him in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. Imagine for a second being in the same room as Alexander fucking Volkov. Okay. Like just picture how enormous that guy is, right? Like imagine meeting him and like shaking his hand, how big that guy is, and knowing that he is one of the most well-trained murder machine fighters ever. And Tom Aspinall willingly gets into the cage to fight that fucking guy and just runs him over. You know what I mean? Like these guys that he's beating in 1 round, all of them are like Sergey Pavlovich. If you met Sergey Pavlovich and someone was like, hey, what do you think would happen if you fought that guy? And you just look at him as like a potential violent adversary. You're like, oh my God, that guy would fucking, I mean, that's fucking terrifying. Fight that guy? Fight that fucking guy? It's wild. And then he just runs all of them over. Like to do this, to have this level of success against the top heavyweights in the world is absolutely unfathomable to me. It's unfathomable. He's underrated now. If he beats Jon Jones, he won't be. If he runs over Jon Jones, he will instantly become the holy shit, this guy is potentially the GOAT. I know that sounds fucking crazy right now to say that. I don't know. Who do you guys, let me ask you guys, if you had to at this moment say, who is the heavyweight GOAT MMA fighter, who would you guys put? Okay, now put that in the chat, and then I'm coming back over to 314 again to finish talking about that. Okay, so Yair and Patricio, I have no idea. I love watching Yair fight. He's one of my favorite guys to watch fight. Patricio is also very exciting, but obviously he's coming over from Bellator, and so it's always weird, dude. It's always weird. Whoa. Guys, John Jones is not an option for greatest heavyweight of all time yet. I have to reject that one because John Jones has 2 heavyweight fights against Cyril Gahn, who has no grappling and he just strangled him, and then against fucking 43-year-old Stipe Miocic. Like John Jones, he can't be your heavyweight GOAT. He can be your overall GOAT. He can be the like all-time GOAT, but he can't be heavyweight GOAT. He's only fought 2 times at heavyweight. You know what I mean? Choke dealer, what's up, dog? Where the fuck you been? Jesus, I got to do a UFC to get you to come on. See, like Kane is GOAT. That's a defensible position. So this is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about better. Like I'm not talking about better. Greatest is a different conversation. I don't want to derail this whole conversation. I'm sorry. I was just curious who you guys would say. But okay, so Yair is super exciting. Patricio is obviously very exciting, but like Yair has one of the most exciting styles. He's great everywhere. I am very excited to see how that goes. And so I'm going to pick Yair, I think. Now Bryce Mitchell against Gene Silva. This is obviously a fascinating fight. I am going to be passionately rooting for Bryce Mitchell. And from like just a pure fight stylistic matchup though, like if I take the 2 guys and I run through the algorithm, it's like, okay, how have they performed? This is how it looks to me. Okay. Bryce's striking traditionally, like as I've seen it, is good enough to where he can control distance, keep guys away from him so that he can make entries and then dominate when he is grappling. Okay. Like if he has a situation where he cannot turn it into at least a clinch, he is in trouble, right? If he's able to get his arms around Gene Silva's got serious fucking problems. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to do that. And Gene Silva has been handpicked to knock Bryce out. There is no question about that. That's one of those things I could say is a 100% certainty without having been in the room when they're making this decision, because I watched this sport religiously for the last literally my entire adult life. Okay. Which is a lot longer than most people's adult lives that, who start talking to me about Conor McGregor sucks. I'm like, how long have you been watching this sport? Like that's one of the number one indicators of like how long a person's been a fan is how they talk about Conor. Because anyone who was a fan of this sport from 2013 to 2016, the impression Conor left on you it's like imprinted in your brain in a way that like you can't, it was so heavy that it can never really like get removed no matter what happens, but nonetheless, neither here nor there. Okay. But every time that, something happens to like, I can always tell when the UFC is making a matchup when they want someone to lose because it's obvious. If you're good at handicapping fights, it's obvious when they do it. The Hamzat versus Nate Diaz one was one of the most obvious ones of all time. It ended up being, in my opinion, was just a negotiating tactic that the UFC was taking, but Nate was so fucking crazy. He took the fight anyway. And then they were just, they're like, they were frustrated that Nate wouldn't resign. So they're like, fuck it. Let's run the playbook where we beat up guys right before they become free agents because we don't want them to have high market value on the open market. It's just, when it came up to fight time, that's why I think they had Hamzat intentionally miss weight because they realized like, dude, this is going to be bad. Like Hamzat could really, really hurt Nate. And given Nate's history with the company, it's going to look so bad on us, whatever. But like Bryce comes out and says the stuff about Hitler. Ari Emanuel his family is very tied into Israel. Not just like, oh, Ari Emanuel's Jewish, like tied into the state of Israel. And if you know anything about that culture, which a lot of people have been talking about lately, I stay away from that topic altogether because I just, whatever. But if you start saying shit about Jews or minimizing the Holocaust or talking about Hitler or whatever, and especially you start talking about like, Holocaust numbers, or you say things like the greedy Jews, like the greedy Jews, and they were like, spreading pornography. They were trying to like the queer books and trans the kids. Like that what Bryce said was one of the most, like, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I told you guys, I love Bryce Mitchell. Bryce said, I don't care what he says. I know Bryce is a good person. So, he could say whatever he wants. He can have whatever opinions he wants. I know he has a good heart and he's a good person. I know that. But in terms of just words that came out of his mouth, I mean, that is literally one of the most insane tirades I've ever heard. And that just knowing that the Anti-Defamation League and anyone like tied to Israel, like he went above, he's at like Kanye level, straight up. And so with that in mind, you think that they're going to match up? They're going to put him on there. They're going to just try to get his head kicked in. And that is exactly why, he's fighting Gene Silva, because Gene Silva is one of these up and comers that they know is going to be a star. Stylistically, he is a perfect matchup to knock Bryce out. And it's like, that is why they made this matchup. Doesn't mean that he's going to do it at all. And then the build up to this fight has been fantastic, to where if Bryce is able to overcome, and he strangles this dude, like, Gene Silva will probably come back, but it would be an amazing, amazing, amazing win. John Emerson, I'm so old, I trained with one of Pete Williams' teammates. Man, I'm so young, I don't even know who Pete Williams is. I might be embarrassed when you clarify who that is. How long has Conor dabbled in politics? Makes him a loser? I don't understand what that means, but I'll tell you this, dude. The global apparatus does not play around with celebrities who say they want to get into politics anymore. Conor says he's getting into politics, and I mean, obviously the case went the wrong way, right? Where they found him responsible or whatever. Who knows how that would have gone otherwise? But the press and all of the, propaganda that's come out afterwards about Conor has been unbelievably consistently negative in Ireland. And I mean, you're not going to convince me that that's unconnected to him announcing that he wants to run for office. And like, if you look at other examples that ever since Trump won in 2016, any celebrity who says that they want to get into politics, who's not like a part of the machine already, they destroy them as fast as they can. Like Michael Avenatti, you guys remember that dude who was representing Stormy Daniels in that lawsuit? And at the time, all you had to do to be a media darling with like MSNBC and them was be an adversary of the big guy. And so like, he's like, we're coming after him. And he was saying all kinds of, and they just literally had him on CNN, MSNBC constantly. And he was, good looking, charming, charismatic. And so he was like, I'm thinking about running for president. He's like, I think I'm going to make a run for it. And they realized, oh shit, well, we're not going to take this kind of thing lightly anymore. So they immediately opened an investigation into him. And then boom, now where's he at? Fucking prison, dude. Prison. There's, you know what I mean? It's like, be careful. Look up Pete Williams. Going to feel really bad. Okay, hang on. Pete Williams. Wait. Oh, man. Yeah, that is old school, dude. UFC 34, high voltage, lost to Rico Rodriguez. UFC 17, damn, dude. In all honesty, that's the reason is, hey, my pleasure, Balthazar. So So I don't think I've missed a single pay-per-view since Tito Ortiz versus Ken Shamrock won. Like that's basically the dividing line where like I became super fan, you know, where like I have followed the sport like a lunatic since that fight. So that he actually is a little bit before my time. Okay, so with Krylov and Dominic Reyes, I don't feel like I have a great like handle on where Reyes is. And here on the other side, let me check something out here. Let me just see. Okay, I remember this fight. All right. Let me just watch I'm going to watch 20, 30 seconds of him in the Brian Spann fight. Because Dominic Reyes is really good, but he has a suspect chin. He's won 2 in a row now. Damn. Krylov got just thrown right there, mounted almost into a triangle, but so Spann almost had him in a triangle right there, but that was not like incredible defense by Krylov. That just wasn't very clean, a clean transition from Spann. Then Spann almost had him Darce choke too. But the thing is again, this is not Reyes' game, you know, submissions. Wait, Clown Show, Jesse, answer, hurry. Where is Chimaev Dricus fight happening? Huh? Dude, no one fucking knows that. There's no inside info on where Dricus and fucking Chimaev are fighting. I mean, that's not information that just gets leaked out, you know, something like that. But the Weasel thinks Reyes is going to win. I mean, this is a weird, so he ends up getting a submission. So that's a worthless. So, well, all I could say about that Brian Spann fight with Krylov is that he won grappling. I don't think that is going to come into play because Reyes is going to keep it standing if he can. And what I saw from Krylov in the first initial grappling exchanges was not super impressive. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good either. And then let me see the Gustaf. He knocked out Gustafsson. I forgot about this. Let me see this. So I could see him on his feet. See, it's infuriating that I can't show footage, man. All right. So this is much better for me to see because I can see what kind of power he has. Oh, he leaves himself open. Oh, man. Okay, I agree. If he moves if he moves the same way that he moves in that, I mean, I know the Gustafsson fight is a few years ago, but if he has not changed the way that he fights, I agree. I think Dominic Reyes is going to win. Dominic Reyes is a lot more crisp than Reyes. I'm sorry, than Krylov is. Look, 5'4" Quirk screaming from his bathroom with some clickbait title. Keiko That's a real fan right there. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for the super chat. I have not heard about Dustin and Max fighting, no. But that for their first fight was off the hook. It was so good. It was such a good fight. That was such a good fight. Man, I wish I could tell you. You want to talk about inside information? I have a story about someone connected to the reference in that super chat, but I was sworn to secrecy, so I can't tell the story. But it is fucking hilarious, and I wish I could tell it, but I can't. For BMF, yeah, I mean, like, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I mean, honestly, if anybody should retire with the BMF belt, it's fucking Poirier, you know? Huh? How are you not able to text Chael asking inside info on Chimaev visa? I mean, the visa, even if he knew what the status of, it doesn't matter. Like, dude, there isn't anyone who cannot get a visa to come into the United States anymore. Like, that's not a thing anymore. Okay, that was a thing from 2020 to 2024. I can tell you that absolutely 100%. Because guess how? Hello, Mr. President. Do you think that, okay, Dana's best friends with the commander-in-chief. There is no fight. He has no problems with fighter visas anymore at all. That's not a thing. But again, knowing the visa stuff is irrelevant because it still doesn't, there's no way to know when or where they're going to fight. Because they keep that shit super tight-lipped. When fucking Ariel leaked reported on the Brock and the Brock fight, that was what, before they released that information, that's what got him blackballed initially or whatever. It's like the UFC takes that stuff super serious. They want to announce big fights when they can, or like period. Well, maybe they have. It's possible. I don't know what I don't think they've announced International Fight Week yet. I say every year that I'm going to go to International Fight Week, and I still have not gone. I don't know why. I'm going to try to get a crew together and go this. Maybe that's exactly what I'll do. Maybe I'll host a group for International Fight Week. Yeah. See, they've still got TBD for UFC 317. They got to announce that pretty soon, man. Let's just see. Let's see exactly what we have announced. Bro, that fight's a banger. Sandhagen against Figueiredo. That's a great fight. 315. Bilal against Jack Della Magdalena. Gilbert Burns against Morales. See, they think this is the new guy. They think Morales is the new guy. Valentina against this is a fucking great fight right here. Fioro against Valentina, that's a banger right there. Manon is a monster, dude. Thank you, John Emerson. I didn't even know what red was. I was like, I don't know what that red color means. Alexa Grasso against Natalia Silva. Ooh, Natalia Silva. Okay, so if Natalia Silva, so this is going to be who gets the next shot. Alexa Grasso against Natalia Silva. I like that, dude. Then Paul Groke, who cares? Then Blanchfield against Macy Barber. This one I don't understand. Because Erin Blanchfield, she got her ass kicked by Rose and then kind of like squeaked out a win there. But what has Macy Barber done to fucking earn what is pretty, well, I guess it's not really a title eliminator, is it? It's not. Because whoever wins the other, Natalia and Grasso, they'll get the next shot. And then if Rose fights against Rose fighting Maverick. If Rose beats Maverick and yeah, I mean, Rose, if she wins 2, is right in there too, because the only losses she's had at 25 have been very close and to two of the top people. Man, I wish she was at 3. I wish she was at strawweight still so she could fight Wei Li, dude. She decisively whipped Wei Li's ass twice, and man, I wish wait a minute. Hill versus Roundtree. Hold on. What the fuck? Oh, right, because they replaced it with Ian Gary and Carlos Paredes. That's right. And then Anthony against Sang Ming Yang in his retirement fight. Yeah. Dude, okay, so check this out though. So Ariel went hard in the paint yesterday. Like on the PFL CEO, it was like, Jesus, bro. Sometimes Ariel goes like, he goes so hard where I'm like, sometimes the person, wait, hang on. What in the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, look at this, dude. All right, just real quick. I was looking for my response to Ariel, but look at this. Okay. So so I posted this, I had my person that works for me post this on my X, like a video I did on RFK. And this guy goes, the fact you're still pushing this channel could also be deemed suspicious, because like the title is suspicious. So I looked at his account and I'm like, dude, I just looked at your account and read your last 15 replies. You talk shit in every reply and no one ever replies or acknowledges you. It's embarrassing and pathetic. And he goes, I guess you should have looked harder. And he's like, hey, look, 6 people like this reply. Look at that. It says 6. Like, and his reply is, damn, you're dumb. And they're like, it's 6 people liked it. He's all, I guess you should have looked harder. I thought you said no one ever responded. You see that? 6 people liked that response. What a fucking idiot, dude. Oh my God, dude. People on X are so fucking retarded, man. That is embarrassing. All right. So that is so funny, man. Okay, here we go. So this is, wait, where the fuck is how do I get, okay, hang on. All right, there we go. So Ariel says it's shocking the GFL could still have an event, but honestly, that would be shocking to me at this point. To me, the GFL is a story that has come and gone. There's a greater story here, the state of the MMA business. PFL isn't paying as much as they once did. The Bellator #2 brand doesn't exist. One isn't paying nearly as much for MMA fighters. GFL was that hope. This type of promotion doesn't exist, and at the end of the day, that's not good for the fighters or the business. And that's true. Every single word of that is 100% true. And this fucking GFL thing, I am starting to think was honestly like always a scam to get money from investors. Because that shit never made any sense. And I'm going to be honest with you. Oh my God, dude. Speaking of fucking inside information, let me see if I can find something out. Because I just realized that, hold on a second. I'm going to see it because this investor pulled out, and I'm curious if it's the same investor that had claimed that he was going to do something. You guys said call Chael, right? I'm calling Chael right now. Let's see if he knows. Because do you guys remember when they were floating Chael versus Tito Ortiz in that fight? It was probably like, 2-3 years ago. And this guy was saying that he was going to pay, this guy was saying that he was going to pay Chael and Tito a fuckload of money. And I actually met that guy, the investor who was supposedly behind it, because Frank Mir was an advisor for that company. And I did a fight companion with Frank Mir, and that guy came. And so I had actually interacted with Chael about that investor. So I actually know who that guy is. And this GFL thing, it was like, oh, our investor pulled out. And when I looked at, I literally just put this together right this second. When I looked at what GFL was claiming they were going to do, that they were going to pay 50% of the profits to the fighters, they were going to do whatever. That's exact same stuff that guy said he was going to do before, and it didn't really have a name. So I wonder if it's the same guy. But the bottom line is this, man. Okay, if like they were also paying the fighters advances on what they were going to pay. They were all getting paid like month to month. Like they just started, like the reason all these guys signed is because they started getting paid immediately. So like, it's all, okay, yeah, I'll fight in April. And they started paying them monthly coming out of what was going to be their fight purse. What the fuck? Like, what if they don't fight? Like, what if they don't show up? You think you're going to be able to recoup that money? It doesn't make any sense. And like the entire thing never made any sense to me. I mean, I didn't really think about it that much until they canceled the show, but it makes it feel like to me it's like a scam to pull an investor in. Anyway, so Don Davis responded to what Ariel said about PFL. He says, this kind of misreporting hurts MMA fighters in the MMA industry. Ariel Helwani is wrong about PFL fighter compensation. PFL average fighter pay is up. PFL fighter roster payroll is up. His clickbait is a disservice to fighters and fans, as well as PFL, who serves both. Okay, that was not a super aggressive response from Don Davis. Okay, like that was not like super aggressive. Okay, what Ariel said was like, I don't know, like what Ariel said was not, it wasn't wrong. But it's also not wrong for PFL to like, I don't know, to respond to it. You know, they're fight promoters. If you say something negative about the organization, they're allowed to respond. It didn't seem like it was that aggressive. The only thing that was aggressive is he said it was clickbait or whatever. But then this is what Ariel responded with, okay? You're in the midst of one of the worst PR runs in the history of combat sports. I can't open this app without seeing one of your top stars complain about the state of your company. I'm the least... You know what, dude? I should do a fucking video about this because Ariel this is fucked, actually. Ariel is a fucking, I don't ever go directly at Ariel, and maybe I'll save this for my video, but I actually think I need to do a video about this. Because don't fucking, look it. Okay? This type of promotion doesn't exist, and at the end of the day, it's not good for the fighters or the business. Okay? So he's pretending like he cares about the fighters and the business, right? Because, oh, it's good. Like you definitely want to have a good number too. That's what he's saying, right? That's what he's pretending. Okay, well, when you come out and absolutely fucking obliterate the PFL in this response that I'm going to go through, how does that help fighters? Like this does direct damage to the PFL when you come out like this. He's the biggest MMA journalist in the world, and he obliterates them because they said that your fucking post was clickbait. So you fucking try to burn them to the ground. Like, why? Okay. You're in the midst of one of the worst PR runs in the history of combat sports. I can't open the app without seeing one of your top stars complain about the state of the company. I'm the least of your problems, but I take issue with you claiming my information is incorrect. Are you paying the same to the tournament winners? No, not even close. Did you ask Bellator fighters to rework contracts? Yes. Did you cancel events last year? Yes. Are you holding events at Universal Studios circa WCW in 1994? Look it up. Look, if you would have just stopped it at that, right? Because I know Ariel gets really fucking mad when people say that like he misreported something, obviously. Like he's like an actual journalist. If you say a journalist got facts wrong, that is they see that as like a direct attack, okay? So if you would have just left it at this, are you paying the same to tournament winners? No, not even close. Did you ask Bellator fighters to rework contracts? Yes. Did you cancel events last year? Yes. Okay, fine. Leave it there, okay? Now you're just getting nasty, dude. Like, are you holding events at Universal Studios circa WCW in 1994? Look it up. I know you're new to this, thus generating little to no gate revenue. Yes. Why? That's just an attack on their company for no reason. In fact, it continues to baffle me at how few tickets you're able to sell in America after all these years. Why? Why are you going at them this hard? because he said your fucking shit was clickbait. All you had to do was correct him up there. I've asked you to come on my show, 5 to 6 times now to talk about some of these things and your upcoming fights, and you continue to refuse. Why is that, Don? The only one who has been a disservice to the sport are the Johnny-come-lately promoters who think they can ride this MMA wave by convincing investors to gamify the fight game. Season, standing, playoffs, nonsense. You know everything I said was true. Continue writing posts on LinkedIn to your current or potential investors. Surely continue talking about Fight Matrix. I'll continue telling the truth. Dude, he's a fucking fraud, bro. Okay? That I will say directly into the camera, Ariel. Okay? You're a great journalist, but pretending that you give a fuck about fighters at the expense of your own ego, you're a fucking fraud. Okay? He said your thing was clickbait. You could have corrected him in 3 sentences. Instead, you fucking obliterated him. Okay? Obliterated him. Congratulations, dude. Hey, another fucking 10-7 X win for fucking Ariel, dude. Good job, bud. Okay? You can do that. You just can't do it at the same time as fucking pretending you give a shit about the MMA, like fight landscape and fighters, okay? Because you're a smart guy. I'm giving you credit as a smart person. You're a fucking smart guy, right? Like you understand the impact of your words on the overall industry. So you understand how undermining an entire organization is going to impact their organization. You shit on them. How does it help? Or what's the impact on ticket sales when you say you guys can't sell any tickets? I can't understand. How are you guys so shitty at selling tickets? No one ever goes to your shows. Okay, well, what's that do next time they're selling shows? Are people going to buy tickets? They're like, no one goes to these fucking shows. Why would I go? Okay. Ariel knows that. The guy said this kind of clickbait does a disservice to fighters, and you fucking eviscerate him like that? Get the fuck out of here, dude. He's a fucking fraud, dude. He's a fraud. A fraud, okay? Good journalist, but completely full of shit when it comes to your intentions about fucking fighters or the fight community. Because he's right, okay? There being no other organizations except for UFC, that's a monopoly. That is terrible for fighters and anyone who's not UFC. Okay, it's great for the fans. It's fucking great for the fans because broke fighters have to fight all the time in order to make money to pay their bills. Wealthy fighters, bad for fans because they don't have to fight anymore. Circa Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz. Okay, as soon as they make all that money, are they super motivated to go in and get their fucking head kicked off? Not really. Broke fighters, good for fans. But Ariel is the fucking king of going on and talking about bad business practices and how he wants to improve the fucking quality of life for fighters. And then the number 2 guys who are struggling, and he knows they're struggling, okay, it's like what he first said is completely fine, right? Like, this part's totally fine. This is being an honest journalist, okay? The GFL story is coming on. PFL isn't paying as much as they once did. Bellator number 2 brand doesn't exist. One isn't paying as much. GFL was that hope. This type of promotion doesn't exist. At the end of the day, that's not good for the fighters or the business. That's just good reporting and an accurate representation of what's going on. Okay? And again, if he wants to be a fucking 10-7 guy, then be a 10-7 guy. Don't fucking pretend that you care about the fighters if you're going to go and just literally light a fucking atomic bomb under the PFL because he called one of your ex posts clickbait. Give me a fucking break, dude. I never go hard at Ariel on shit, but that's fucking bullshit. I don't really care that much about I would like to see fighters do well. I'm not like being indignant because I care more about the fighters than Ariel. I'm saying don't fucking pretend to care about fighters and then do that. I don't like fucking frauds, dude. That is a fraud because if you pretend you're doing something for people, that's my problem. Is I don't like when people are like, I am the generous one and I'm the one who really cares. Okay, good. But then you demonstrate you don't actually care 1 second later. So when people are fake, I don't fucking like that shit, dude. You will find 0 examples of me doing that. And in the event that I did ever do that and then someone called me out on it, I would immediately acknowledge it and be like, wow, you're right. And I would just acknowledge, I'd be like, my ego got the best of me. I don't like when people stick their fingers in my chest. It makes me irrational and I say stupid shit, you know? So listen, I'm rooting for the PFL. Whatever. If I did anything, like, that's what I would do. It's fucking unbelievable, dude. It's not a coincidence so many people dislike Ariel. Good journalists don't make it about themselves so often. Yeah, dude, it's absurd. Thank you, thank you, Daniel. Couple things you saw. UFC Aspinall leaked the Oliveira Topuria. Yeah, I did, dude. That they leaked that fight. Islam turned down Topuria and will get finished one round by my goat. Thomas Betters. What's up, dude? You've been calling it. You were, sir, calling him forever. Literally forever. Dude, John Emerson. Hold on for a second. That super sticker that you did that says 99 cents, is that really what you did? Was it 99 cents? Because red is usually like $100 and it's sitting up there at the top like it's $100. Like the $100 ones like stay up at the top for me forever. But you're on my side, it says 99 cents, but it's the same color as $100 and it's staying up there like $100. Which I don't know. I just noticed that right now. I mean, do I think that Islam turned down Topuria because he's afraid of getting knocked out? I don't. But I think Topuria's got a really good shot in any fight. Period. All right, I'm going to sign off right now, and I'm going to go fucking torch Ariel in a separate video because he's earned that for that fucking shit right there. I think Ariel uses his care for fighters mostly as an excuse to attack Dana. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. I think you're 100% right about that. He's got to get lit for that, though, dude. Like, that's a level of wait, it was 99 cents and it was dude, that's so weird. And it's just like it's stuck up there like at like $100. The BJ one is coming also. I get like maybe I'm not gonna be able to film tomorrow because I have jiu-jitsu tournament. What's up, baby? Go to the pool this evening? I'll talk to your mom about it. Well, she wants to go? All right, well, tell mommy there are conditions like attached to me going to the pool and see if that, say, mommy, daddy said there are conditions to him going to the pool. Do you want to fulfill those conditions or not? And then tell me what she says. It doesn't matter. She'll know. All right. Well, let me actually see something. There's only 378 people watching this, so maybe I could actually just clip that that I just lit up Ariel, and then I don't have to refilm it. Let me see.
Remember that giant?
Let me see, dude. Because I don't know how long. I don't know if it was long enough to. Oh, it's not going to let. Oh, I can't. Well, I can't pull up my own streaming, guys. Wait, what? YouTube warned you? No way. Chill for a little longer? All right, dude. I will. Dude, how is this video not getting absolutely pushed to the gills right now? I don't understand. This video that I did yesterday is humming, and it has a fucking 11-minute average watch time, a massive click-through rate. It should be getting seen by more people, but whatever. Thomas Betters, second John Jones gonna smoke Aspinall, then call out Francis for the real lineal UFC title. Dude, oh my God, that would be amazing. TKO boxing, keep UFC stuff on this channel. I probably will, dude. Honestly, I think I might have to actually, because like God, man, I get this feeling that like YouTube is constantly trying to figure out what kind of channel it is. And like, cause I'm telling you, dude, if I did a video that was about like something political and it had a 100% click-through rate, they still would only show it to people subscribed to my channel. It gets no reach. It's really wild. That's why I'm saying, but this one that I did yesterday is about Bieber, and it's like the analytics on this are crystal clear. This should be getting absolutely fucking sent to the moon, and it's not, you know? Like you can't have better analytics than this video. I mean, it's doing fine. It has 63,000 views in the first day, but like, which is very good, but it should be doing better. Hey, you want to know how many views the Conor McGregor meme coin video did in the exact same amount of time? 11,000. Okay. That's how little anyone cares about fucking Conor McGregor right now. Okay. Conor McGregor launched a meme coin, which bombed. I did the video about that. Justin Bieber video, 63,000. It's literally almost, it's like 5.5 times as much interest in Justin Bieber as fucking Conor McGregor's thing. But yeah, so lost all the MAGA people that don't watch MMA. Wait, lost all the MAGA people that don't watch MMA. I mean, I don't like, the thing is, I don't do yeah, like I don't like I had a good kind of cadence of doing like MMA, pop culture, politics, MMA, like pretty evenly. But honestly, I always had like when I was only doing MMA, I only covered like good, interesting stories. There really have not, like, it's like shit's been light, dude. Like light. He's got light fucking stuff, dude. It's like, dude, or I mean, when I went, like, there was a fucking pay-per-view this weekend, and I went on MMA fighting this like a couple days ago, and the headline story was Michael Chandler accused of cheating, and they're talking about his fucking fight against Charles Oliveira. I'm like, dude, this is the best story. This is the number one story of the week. Is Michael Chandler commenting on something that happened a year ago? It's just boring, dude. I appreciate you, Vince Vegas. Jesse on everything in the conspiracy. Dude, that's this channel. I mean, I've put up tons of shit like that on this channel recently. All you got to do is just go through my fucking videos. You'll find them. I know, dude. I'm going to do one of those with Diddy. I'm going to do an interview with Diddy. The fact that I have not done that yet is honestly embarrassing. Because I could knock that out. It's just that, like, I actually have to put a bunch of effort into those. You know, I have to write the script. I have to cut out his answers. I have to edit them together. It's like, can you take Kratom while on Suboxone? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can. Did you hear what I said? Uh-huh. What was the answer? Sure. But we won't go. Wait, really? I don't know. Oh my God, Gabrielle, I thought we were making good decisions. Yeah, well, it's so nice out. I mean, you know the way to my heart, so, you know, whatever. So nice outside. Are we capable of, like, you know? I'm capable of a lot of things. All right. Let's do it. Oh, do we have the brackets yet for tomorrow, for their fights tomorrow? No idea. But we don't. Is Giselle? Oh yeah, we gotta get Giselle at 5. Yeah, so we would go to the pool until like 6. Or should we just do that tomorrow after Naga? Whatever. I'll let you think about it. Love you. Well, does that sound fun? Going to the pool at 6 and. I was saying we could go tomorrow after Naga instead. Oh, instead? Oh, wow. God, Gabrielle is such a good influence on me, you guys. I'm not going 3 days in a row this weekend, but we can pick one. Okay, love you, bye. Bye-bye. Think about Oh, man. Listen. If you want to be as healthy as possible, okay? I'm not even going to finish that. Gabrielle's a bad influence on me, dude. We're bad influences on each other. We're both sexual deviants. That's the problem. Okay, what time do my kids fight tomorrow? I got to see this. Smooth comp. Boop. All right. I will talk to you guys while I look this up, and then I'm going to jump the shark. What? Okay, Giselle fights at what time? Wait, what? Actually, all right, I'm going to jump. You guys are the best. Of course I'm rooting for Bryce, dude. I love that guy. He did have one of the best lines of all time. Absolutely 100%. It was amazing. Okay, I got to jump. I always loved mixing my party substances, no regard, but I create them or prescribe Suboxone. Snorted a bunch of Oxy 80s though. Well, good. Lucky that you got off those 80s clean then, because been on for 7 years. What, Suboxone? It's miserable getting off. Bro, make up your mind, guy. Like, do you want to talk shit or do you want to like get my advice? Oh, I mean, if you're what I'm saying is, well, historically, I used to actually, this is terrible advice. But you're okay. If you're on Suboxone, you're never off Suboxone. That's the thing. Like, you could, like, you think you're like not taking it for a day. It doesn't matter. Like, the shit lasts so long in your system that even if you take a day off, it's irrelevant. It's still in your system. So like anything you take, it's the same as just being on, you know. Attaboy. That's a long time, dude. If you're talking about Suboxone and Kratom, I am just going to not say anything because I don't want to give anybody, excuse to, take more shit. But anyway, all right, you guys are the best. I got to jump. Love you guys. Bye-bye.